Welcome to Taking Care of Business on News Talk 1180 KERN for the best in Saturday Talk Radio at 1 o'clock and on 1230 KGEO at 10 o'clock on Saturday. And for the best in Wednesday Talk Radio, we are on 1410 KERI, the Christian station. We're also now on 1000 KKIM in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and also on the internet on knookmedium.com, serving Richmond, Oakland, and the San Francisco Bay Area. Your host is Clay Koerner, and I'm Marty Pay, and our producer is Greg Held. Hey, Greg, that was a great show with Jason Redman, the author of Trident. What a story he has.
See what I told you about names? He called me Greg.
I did not call you Greg. I said Clay.
Well, okay.
You're awake.
We can listen to it on the air later on.
Would you like to bet a lunch?
But it was.
Do you want to bet a lunch?
It was an excellent show. Yeah, we'll bet a lunch on that one.
Okay, you're on. I finished the rest of his book on tape. And, Greg said I did?
Yes, you did.
Okay. I owe you lunch. I finished the rest of his book on tape. It was a great book. What a story he had. I mean, numerous surgeries afterwards, after being shot in the face in Afghanistan, but an incredible story.
We are blessed to have the Navy SEALs.
Yes.
And the Rangers and the other people that serve in our military.
Yes, men like that in combat. It's just, it's incredible what we have. But today we've got a great show. Friend of the program, one of my favorite guests, former Congressman and a Fox News contributor, John Leboutillier. John, welcome back to Taking Care of Business.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's great to be on, and it's a little logistical snafu to get me on today. It's all my fault, and I'm happy that we're doing the show, and I've loved being on before, and let's have a good time today.
Yeah, well, John, I thought I made a mistake once, but I was wrong, so, it does happen.
Yeah, you sound like every elected politician I know.
And this coming from a former elected politician.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many of these guys ever say, I made a mistake? I mean, Bill O'Reilly is going after the president on Benghazi, the IRS, and you would think there's never been a mistake or a problem or anything. The president just smiling away, oh, yeah, no, not a smidgen of corruption, nothing wrong. Been looked at. Everything's been looked at. I mean, what world is this guy living in?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's like these guys walk on water.
He's another Walter Mitty, I think.
Walter Mitty?
Yeah.
Wow.
Although
that's
I'd rather watch Ben Stein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Krauthammer.
Yeah.
He's pretty sharp,
too.
Too.
By the way, to be a little fair about it, I can remember, and I don't remember who did the interview, but it was some big cheese anchorman, interviewed George W. Bush around 06, 07, maybe. I don't know. It was in the Oval Office. This thing with Bill O'Reilly was not in the Oval Office. The one I'm remembering of Bush was in the Oval Office after things had sort of soured in Iraq, and it was clear there were no WMD to be found. And whoever this interviewer was, Tom Brokaw, some guy like that, they got nowhere with Bush. Bush was able to weasel around just like Obama weaseled the Super Bowl Sunday. It was the same kind of thing. And it makes me realize these guys are very good at parrying and not answering questions that they don't want to answer. And you can't make anybody answer a question if they don't want to, especially not a president, for fear that you go too far, you're too tough, and you come off looking bad, And O'Reilly pushed it as far as you could push it. He tried to interrupt politely, but the president wouldn't hear it and just kept going. We had a tweet that night on Fox about it where somebody tweeted, said, I saw the president, and I'm tired of the way he filibustered the answer. And I thought that was the greatest accidental word, filibuster.
Filibuster.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Speaking of shows, I'd like to have, I think I'm going to call Sandy and see about getting you and Doug back on, because you and Doug and Pat Caddell do the Political Insiders. So having the two of you on would be kind of fun. I think it's hard to get Pat on.
I'm sure. I'll do it. I'm just got to get Doug. He's traveling. He's in London now. He'd be in L.A. He's going to be in L.A. this weekend.
Oh, okay. So, sometime in the next couple of weeks that might work. Now, you guys have a show called Political Insiders on Sunday afternoon on Fox.
Correct. At 7:30, Sunday night, New York time, so out West Coast, 4:30 in the afternoon. And then we do another live Monday morning version on the Internet on FoxNews.com. Pat, Doug, and me, no hosts. It's just the three of us talking politics for half an hour with one minute commercial break. Otherwise, it's half an hour straight political talk, which, by the way, nobody anywhere on any broadcast or internet show talks about the stuff we talk about the way we talk about it. And that's why our ratings are so good.
Well,
because you can't get it. You get spinning and all this nonsense on these other shows. But with us, you're getting new analysis that's not heard anywhere else.
And definitely no nonsense. Our guest by phone is former Congressman John Leboutillier.
John, this is Clay, and I have to be honest with you. I am just sick and tired of politics because all you hear is one party dishing the other party, and nothing seems to get done. Absolutely nothing, and I'm just sick of it.
Well, and by the way, Clay, that's what. First of all, I agree with you. I can't take it either, you know. And the thing that I don't like on the regular shows, including on Fox and elsewhere, is you put on they'll bring on a Republican and a Democrat, and what goes on? The Republican reads or has memorized Republican Party talking points. Democrat, same thing with Democratic talking points. And we proceed to watch these two puppets just, in effect, reading out loud what they were told to say. No thinking, no listening, no interplay, no back and forth that's meaningful. So what we decided to do was the exact opposite, that we would talk about what we know about and refuse to shill for anybody, spin for anybody. We have tremendous credibility because of what we've each done in our lives. And often, Clay and Marty, I, as a Republican, will criticize the Republicans, and Pat and Doug, who are Democrats, will criticize the Democrats. Where do you ever see that on TV? You know, it's always dumping on the other party. You never see anybody dumping on their own party.
Yeah, that's true. You know, and it's refreshing to see political insiders like you guys doing that. Another guy who we're going to have on the show at the end of the month, I'm in the middle of listening to his book, is David Stockman, you know, who was Reagan's budget director. And boy, he trashes everybody. I mean, it's that's you've read. I think you and I have talked about that before. You've read that book, haven't you? Stockman's book.
I didn't read it, but I know David. I was briefly crossed paths in Congress, and then he became the budget director when I was a congressman, and I went and saw him a couple times about things. And in the 30 years since, he's basically come to the same conclusion that Pat, Doug, and I have, is that the two parties are hopeless, they're corrupt, they're only out for themselves. The American people get nothing. The special interests who pay for everything in Washington and the two-party establishments are living high off the hog while the country's deteriorating. And that book is a screed against crony capitalism, the corporate welfare state, and the whole bit. And good for him.
Well, one thing, John, I can never understand, both in federal as well as state, how every Democrat can vote one way and every Republican can vote the other way. Don't these people think for themselves, or are they just puppets of the leadership?
They're not puppets. At least the Republicans, as we had seen this week and 2 weeks ago on the debt ceiling yesterday and immigration 2 weeks ago, they certainly are not puppets of the leadership. The leadership wants to do an immigration deal. The members tell them, no way. Then this week, the leadership wanted to attach something to the debt ceiling, like restoring military pension cuts, and they couldn't get the votes. So, but there are times. Now, Obamacare, there was not one Republican, Clay, in the House or Senate who voted for Obamacare in 2010. However, I applaud that because that was a principled vote. At the time, the president was still very popular. He had just been elected and been in office just over a year. And Republicans did not believe that nationalized health care was a good deal. And so they all voted against it. And that's going to help them this year because it's very clear that health care and Obamacare is the number one issue, and it's all on the Democrats. They created it. They can suffer because of it.
Question for you there, because I know we're going to talk a lot about health care. It's Clay's favorite subject, but in about the minute we have left before the commercial, do you think this is going to sink the Democrats in November?
Yeah, I do. I think that it's logical that this issue, which doesn't get in the news every day, but most days there's some bad story about Obamacare, combined with the fact that we're not creating any jobs, has to be the biggest issue going into November. It just has to be. And I think that's why the Republicans probably will win control of the Senate.
Okay. When we come back from the break, let's expand on that a little bit and talk a little more about health care.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment on Taking Care of Business on Koerner Radio, News Talk 1180.